Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It is Beth Demon again here on behalf of the San Diego Brewers Guild doing the weekly Instagram Live check-in with a couple of San Diego breweries and beer people just to see how we're all doing during COVID-19, how we can support the local beer community. We've been doing this for a couple of weeks now, so hopefully we don't sound we might sound a little bit repetitive at the very beginning because I want to make sure that new viewers and listeners are able to get all of the information about how we can best all support the local beer community all up front. So if you've tuned in with us before, thank you so much for tuning in again. We have some really great guests today. If this is your first time tuning in with us, this is just a quick little intro. What we're going to do is talk about some resources for both consumers as well as brewery employees here in San Diego. If you are laid off or furloughed or just want to kind of get your name out there to promote what you were doing, whether it be beer pickups, deliveries, growler fills, partnerships, collaborations, anything like that during the pandemic. So looks like today I'm going to make sure I've got my list of guests up here. We're going to be talking to Jonathan from Thunderhawk. We're going to be following them up with Amplified, Brandon from AleSmith, and then we're going to wrap things up with Candace Moon, who is known as the craft beer attorney. So that should be really fun. We hope you guys stick around for that. Before we do much else here, hold on, what am I doing here? I've got my beer of choice today. I've got the Stone's Never Ending Haze Session Hazy IPA. I've been hitting the sauce a little bit hard lately. As I'm sure I'm not the only one. Some of us have been doing that. So I was like, I'll try to keep things a little bit more casual for the Wednesday afternoon happy hour. So anyway, it's really good if you haven't had it. Yeah, it's on the lighter side, just 4%, but it's, hazy and has a ton of flavor and stuff like that. So if you are into that, it's one of the better ones, I think, and just keeping things a little bit more casual. So jumping right into the list of resources for people. First thing, 3B Zine, the local podcast, that's the Beer Night in San Diego people. They have been keeping a really super good up-to-date list of brewery statuses. So they've got it all alphabetized and everything like that, and you can see who's open, who's not, who's doing delivery, who's doing to go and anything like that. So I really recommend heading over to 3bzine.com to take a look at that list if you are interested in checking out a very specific brewery or something like that, if you aren't looking at them on social media beforehand, which I recommend. A couple of cool things. So hand sanitizer obviously has been being, a lot of local distilleries and distilleries around the country have been pivoting to making hand sanitizer with their spirits. But Belching Beaver did team up with San Diego Distillery to make a double IPA hand sanitizer. I think they just announced that today, so it's not out yet. But that should be really cool, and I can't recommend drinking it. So, it's probably tasty, but I got nothing with that. So anyway, keep an eye out for that. San Diego Distillery with Belching Beaver, a double IPA hand sanitizer. Another way to help kind of support those efforts during COVID-19. And then one really interesting thing, I don't know who's familiar with the Resilience Project that Sierra Nevada did last year to help raise money for the campfire victims and local residents and things like that to help raise money. So Other Half Brewing just launched kind of a similar initiative to deal with COVID-19. It's called, I forget what it's called. I didn't write that down. So anyway, but it's a collaboration to help raise funds for hospitality workers who have been affected by COVID-19. And locally, some of the people who are doing a collaboration beer for that is Harland. I think Mason Ale Works is doing it with Horace, Resident, North Park Beer Company. One thing about that, it's called All Together. Thank you, AleSmith. I couldn't even remember altogether. But anyway, keep an eye out for that brew. I think some more breweries are probably going to jump on board to help raise money for that. And obviously, if a brewery isn't participating in that, it's probably just due to the fact that their own workers are hospitality workers that have been affected by it. So be sure to keep supporting people, even if they aren't participating in that. But if they are, do keep an eye out for that and try and help purchase some of that when they start getting released. Finally, well, no, not finally. This is the second to last thing I have on my list. But Setting Sun Sake Company, Josh over there in the Miralani Makers District, he is hosting the Conversations in Craft on Zoom Fridays at 7 p.m. I think tomorrow is Mikkeller or Mikkeller, depending on how you want to pronounce it, as well as Charlie and Echo Urban Winery. So they should be talking to a couple different beverage makers here in San Diego. That should be really interesting to see how different segments of the industry are going to be dealing with the pandemic. And it's totally donation based. So if you go to Setting Sun's social media pages or search for them on Eventbrite, you should be able to RSVP and participate Fridays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that should be really interesting to see a couple different points of view on how things are being handled here in San Diego. And then beer people probably already know, but obviously the Craft Brewers Conference that was taking place in San Antonio obviously got canceled like everything else in the entire universe. But it is online now. It is a totally virtual experience. So if not all, most of the seminars and talks and panels and things like that have been moved to a virtual experience, and it's free. So if you were thinking about going to the Craft Brewers Conference or you were going and it got canceled and you can't go anymore or whatever, check it out. It should be a lot of really great resources and super interesting things that hopefully not everything is totally related to the pandemic, just good old-fashioned beer knowledge. So check that out. Craft Brewers Conference, totally online now. Obviously, the nationwide, if you were looking for any assistance or resources or guidance on how to deal with COVID-19, whether in your brewery or as a consumer, the Brewers Association is going to be the best nationwide place to check out that. So brewersassociation.org. For California, the CCBA, the California Craft Beer, CaliforniaCraftBeer.com. They're going to have a little bit more specific statewide stuff. And then obviously for San Diego, the San Diego Brewers Guild is going to have the most relevant and specific information for San Diego breweries in general. So that's sdbeer.com. Obviously, they've got a ton of resources for local San Diego breweries, consumers, employees, anything like that. So also feel free, but I also strongly encourage you to sign up for the newsletter to stay up to date, as well as check out the newest merch that will be going to help support all the types of things happening in San Diego beer right now, especially during this pandemic. And one of the newest things that got added is a mental health resources tab. So if you are struggling, or you know somebody who's struggling, or you really just want to feel a little bit more tapped into the community, please do visit sdbeer.com and be sure to take advantage of everything that they have put together for the community. And if you have something, or you're putting together something that you would like to offer to the community that you don't see listed on there, please email info@sdbeer.com and they will be sure to add it on there to make sure that everybody is aware of what you are doing. So I think without any further ado, I'm going to see if Thunderhawk is available to chat with me, and it looks like they are. Let's get here. Get a drink while I'm waiting. And I apologize for how I look. I've been playing outside all day with my kid because it's finally nice out and not raining, which is amazing. So, Jonathan, feel free to jump on. I invited you. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Beth.
What's going on?
Nothing much. Just hanging. Life's always throwing curveballs, even through the pandemic here. I've got a flood at my house last week. So I've been
great timing.
repairing that and stuff. But Yeah, just I'm excited to be with you guys for happy hour. It's a little reprieve from the other work.
I hear you, man. Well, how have things been going for you over at Thunderhawk?
It's been okay. So we
Yeah.
started doing, yeah, beer to go. Pretty much the same days we're open with limited hours, so over Wednesday through Sunday,
Hmm.
um, for about 3 hours each day in the afternoons, and then Friday or Saturday and Sunday noon to three. So we've had a good amount of our fans come through and pick up crowlers to go and merchandise and bottles and stuff. So been really fortunate that folks all over San Diego have come and seen us, which has been awesome. But still rough. I think like everybody else, sales are down. So just trying to weather the storm, and we've been pretty conservative most of the time we've been open. So we've got a little capital to kind of weather this, but I think like most folks, we'd hope to see it over sooner than later.
Yeah, I mean, I was taking a look at the Brewers Association numbers, and they had been saying that, even the breweries in the best of positions, after 2, 3 months, they are going to have to make some hard decisions. So, I mean, I know when you and I spoke last, when I happened to run into you on the street,
That's right.
which was a pleasant surprise, just seeing somebody real.
A real human, I know.
Oh my God. But it sounds like you guys are doing pretty good. You've streamlined things as well as you can for now. Are you still brewing to kind of keep up with demand, or if that is that slowed down a bit?
We did a batch this week. We're putting some pilsner in the fermenters, but with demand just being a lot lower, that was one of the first things that we cut was brewing activities and ops, as well as like it just really helped us save a lot of money up front and kind of tighten up cash wise.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to do that and see where our inventory end up after a few weeks. So it's time to brew again. And we're being optimistic that eventually. We're going to get the green light from Gavin Newsom, and we're going to be open again. So when
Yeah.
that time comes, I think there should be a good demand. I think a lot of people are excited to get out of the house.
Well, I'm excited to drink as much lager as possible. So anybody who wants to keep, brewing pilsners, I wholeheartedly support that for sure.
Here's to that.
Yeah. Well, so one of the things that I was hoping to talk to you about is one of the Brewers Guild initiatives that has kind of had to be put on hold, like so many other things, was the work on the inclusion committee, and which you were on and a huge part of spearheading. Do you want to talk a little bit about the efforts that we were able to do with that, and kind of what you're hoping to push forward once things start rolling again?
Yeah, I think the diversity and inclusion committee. We were really kind of putting all those puzzle pieces together right before this happened.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of great folks in the group that have really kind of a wide breadth of different experiences in the industry, which I think is valuable because not everything is just coming from one angle, whether that's, a brewer or a bartender or whatever. There's a lot of different folks that really, make beer possible.
Mm-hmm.
So, some of those initiatives, I think number one, just being aware of the awareness and just letting people know that there is this committee. And I think all those individuals have done a good job on their own, as well as the Brewers Guild, to just let everybody know that it is a focus and it's something that we're pursuing. And in terms of initiatives, I feel like we kind of this, I don't want to say the steam ran out, but it's building up, right? It's on hold.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in terms of individual things, there's ideas thrown around for specific beers, which I think would be the most powerful avenue,
Yeah.
to let everybody know, especially those folks who are deep in the craft beer, just culture, put it in their hand. Let the beer, the vessel, the can, or whatever, speak to them. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing I'm most excited about. And it's Megan from at is Beer Carb, I
Mm-hmm.
believe, is kind of the one who was spearheading that. So I'm excited with her brewing experience and creativity to see where we end up. And like I said, I think just all the folks on board. There's quite a force and quite a legion of us who have a lot of reach in the industry. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think San Diego's done a good job of being open. I think inclusion is always one of those things that sometimes feels forced to some people.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you look at our industry and you look at like the people who are working in it, you do see quite a lot of different backgrounds and different folks. So that was one of the things that drew me to craft beer. I kind of always found it interesting. There's so many people who came from different walks of life that ended up in beer.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really like the most natural avenue of a career, whether any level you really come from economically.
Hmm. Well, I'm hoping if any silver lining comes out of this whole, pandemic crisis, I think that it's really opened a lot of people's eyes to inequality in certain segments of society and just how widespread they are. So I'm hoping
Right.
that if anything, this will kind of push our efforts further, even just within the craft beer community itself, because now we sort of, the blinders have been taken off of everybody willingly or unwillingly, and I think it's a conversation that will be hopefully a little bit easier and a little bit more palatable for people who have been initially resistant to it. So I'm hoping that is a good thing that comes out of this crisis, but
Absolutely.
hopefully we get to find that out sooner rather than later, because I am going crazy, but don't know if you could tell.
I feel you on that. One other thing I wanted to talk about real quick, I'll show you. I have this shirt on. It says Exonerates, if you can kind of see it, and it's from the California Innocence Project. So that's a group. I'm actually on the fundraising board for the California Innocence Project, and what we do is really support a group of lawyers here in San Diego that help folks who are wrongly convicted of crimes, pretty serious crimes, get out of prison. So they've done an amazing job with that. And, in this time, too, where there's a lot of people incarcerated and wrongfully incarcerated, we do see a lot of the COVID-19 crisis manifesting itself in the worst ways in some of those confined environments like prisons, nursing homes, etc. So just wanted to bring some more awareness to California Innocence Project. If anybody else is, out there interested, they've got a great presence on Instagram as well. They're always doing great events and really, do some amazing work to get wrongfully convicted folks out of prison and back on track.
Awesome. I think that's a really super great initiative. I appreciate you bringing that up. I will definitely be looking into that. But so just before we kind of wrap things up here, what can people do to help support Thunderhawk right now?
Right now, if you want to visit our website, it is thunderhawkbeer.com. There's a little tab on the top. It says shop. You can go in our online shop. You can order merchandise. You can order crowlers for pickup, and bottles like this one here are King of Zamunda Stout, only 250 made, aged in some rye barrels.
Nice.
So we're doing pickup stuff Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday 3 to 6, and Saturday and Sunday noon to 3 in our tasting room located in the Miralani Makers District.
Nice. Where can people find you on social media to keep up with everything Thunderhawk?
We're going to be at Thunderhawk Ailments here on Instagram, and Thunderhawk Ailments on Facebook as well.
ALE Ments.
That's right.
For the clever folks out there. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. It was really, really great to talk to you, and hopefully we get to see you sooner rather than later.
Thank you for having me. This is great. Y'all take care out there.
All right. You too.
All right. Cheers.
All right. That was Jonathan from Thunderhawk Ailments in the Miralani Makers District. And we're going to keep things going. I'm going to see, if Amplified is ready for us. All right. Let's find you, Amplified. Let's find you, Amplified. There you are. I'm going to invite you. This beer's just really good. Hey. How's it going?
Oh, pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm not doing too shabby. So let's do a quick little intro. Who you are, who you're with, all the good stuff. Social security numbers.
Sure. I'm Alex Pearson, owner, founder of Amplified Aleworks.
Cool. All right. Where are you drinking right now?
I am all alone in our PB pub, sitting here doing a little work this afternoon, having a beer.
Nice. So you guys are keeping some brewing cranking right now, or what?
Yes, we are still brewing, but our restaurants are currently closed, tap rooms closed. We're doing pickups on Saturday only right now. So,
at just one location or any?
At all 3 locations.
Okay, so you're in PB and the East Village.
PB, East Village, and Miramar.
Got it. Okay. Okay, cool. So what are some of the things that you've got on tap that people can come pick up right now?
Yeah, so our tap list for growler fills is available on our website right now.
Okay.
We've got some 4-packs available. We're doing some more canning next week, so we'll have, I think, 3 or 4 more canning options.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely trying to pivot a little bit. Generally like 95% of our beer is on draft. So obviously things are a little different these days. And
Yeah.
we're a little behind, but we're getting a bunch
Oh, that's okay. I was like,
get a bunch of labels made and should be selling some more cans.
okay.
So
Cool. So how can people, support you? Is it just like, do you guys have anything besides beer to pick up? Like, can we do gift cards or merch or anything like that?
yes, so we actually right now all our merchandise that's available on our website, 100% of our merchandise sales are going to a fund that we're creating for our employees.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, definitely encourage people, please buy a shirt. It's going directly to the employees that are basically most impacted right now. So yeah, that's something that we're trying to do. And then again, trying to just keep moving a little bit of beer, brewing lots of lagers, hopefully waiting for a day where we can be out on the patio again here. So.
Well, I will say yesterday was the first day I really felt good about like drinking on my front porch because the sun is out. So I really feel like people are going to start like going bananas, but
yeah. Now that good weather's here, it's definitely that much harder to stay inside.
I know.
But,
what have we been paying for
yeah.
for the last month? I mean, give me a break. But we were just talking about with Jonathan, silver linings and things we're hoping to come out of COVID-19, and I'm like, okay, it sounded like the lager renaissance, like it really might take off.
I think so. I mean, we're all going to have a lot of really good, really like cold conditions, long conditioned lagers available here in a couple months. So
yeah, like
that's pretty much all we're doing right now is filling our tanks with them. So
it's the perfect time to be like really patient for that.
Yes,
so
exactly. Yeah.
I am not sad about that. Well, what are you drinking right now?
I am drinking our new generation. It's a hazy IPA with guava. So we just canned some of these up this past week, so it's still super fresh, tasting pretty good, nice and refreshing for like the first day that actually feels kind of like spring around here. So
yeah, right, there you go. So how have you, as the owner of a spot with, you've got a couple of different locations. I'm sure you've got a boatload of employees. How have you kind of how are you feeling about just everything that's going on right now? Like, how are you kind of just handling it, getting through the day?
Yeah, honestly, it's tough. We're just starting to see kind of an idea of what the new normal might be looking like going forward, and trying to think through a strategy as to how we will be able to operate on the other side of this if social distancing continues. So really trying to think through our operations and how we might be able to, as they start to ease some of these restrictions, be able to operate in kind of a safe and sanitary environment to the fullest extent where people would feel comfortable coming back to a place. So that's kind of what we're thinking through and trying to figure out, what that looks like, how that works, how people are gonna act in the new world. So, a lot of this is still to be determined, obviously, but we're trying to think through making sure that we're going to create a space that feels as safe and comfortable for people that want to still be able to get outside. So we're hopeful for that day. In the meanwhile, like I said, we're brewing a lot of lagers and hopefully kind of pivoting over to doing some more can releases here and trying to move a little beer that way. But that's really what we're looking forward to. Hoping that in a few more weeks we might start doing takeout food again. The last month it just hasn't felt safe enough to really want to put our employees in that position. So we've been holding back. But as we kind of see the curve flatten and these restrictions start to ease a little bit, I think going back to, like I said, kind of what will become of the new normal is something that we want to be ready for. So
eventually, people will go back to work and people will start, going out to eat and what have you. And I think Governor Newsom is doing a pretty good job of kind of prepping us for what that might be like. Like, you might be able to go to a restaurant, but it'll only be half full and the waiter might be wearing a mask and things like that. And so I think having that like mental preparation for it will allow people to slowly kind of re-enter society. And I think that it'll be a place where you can get food and beer. Well, that's going to be the first types of places that I go. So
yeah, I'm hopeful for that, but I agree. I think he has been doing a great job prepping people for kind of the expectations of what that's going to look like. And like I said, we're trying to make sure that we think through all of our operations so that we can provide, again, the safest space for customers, but also for our employees as well.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that, I mean, as anybody that's ever worked in the kitchen knows, to stay 6 feet away from another employee in the kitchen is a virtually impossible task. So,
right.
Even doing things to simplify our menu, reduce prep, anything we can do to basically try and give people the safest kind of work environment are things that we're trying to, take the time to think through now so that we hopefully, as we can get back to normal, try and implement those kind of processes so we all feel comfortable and safe coming to work.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, craft beer historically has just prided itself so much on community and that concept of community.
Yeah.
And, like I'm drinking a beer at home alone and it's great and it tastes good and things like that. But, there's just that element of camaraderie that's missing. And I think that we're all going to be really hungry for that. And I'm feeling hopeful. I mean, California seems to, as a overall, kind of have its act together just in terms of social distancing. Like I think that things could have gone a lot worse. So I'm feeling hopeful that we'll be able to, even with a redefinition of what that community is and what it means to us, we'll be able to kind of respectfully and safely get back into it sooner rather than later. So I'm hopeful, but yeah, I'm definitely trying to come hang out on that PB rooftop patio.
Yeah, I know. It's lonely out here. It's crazy.
I know you got like $1 million view though right now. Like you're just chilling.
I'm still paying the rent for it, unfortunately.
So. Oh, really? It's actually $1 million view. So.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's not a bad place to have to come to work. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I really do. I think this will be the type of place people, will want to come back to, and even though we will be hanging out and seeing people in a different way, I think just physical contact, or at least proximity, I think is going to be something that like we're all going to be looking for. So even if somebody's sitting 10 feet away from you, it's better than, kind of what we're all doing right now. So I'm hoping that, as people kind of adjust, I think you're right. They're setting good expectations for people to realize like, yes, we're going to go out and have waiters wearing masks and using single-use menus, and the world's going to, you're going to be using sanitary wipes to open bathroom door handles, and like that's just going to be their new normal for a while. But I still think people are going to want to be out despite all of those, risks to some extent. So yeah, I mean, I certainly am willing to and want to get to that day. So I agree. I think California, we're much better positioned than most people to be, maybe looking at like a June kind of reopening. So that's kind of what I'm hopeful for, and kind of at least starting to, I guess, maybe plan around being able to slowly open our doors around that time. So staying hopeful, I think, is all we can do right now. So.
Absolutely. Well, fingers crossed and best of luck to you. Where can people find you on social media for the latest updates? Everything
at Amplified Ales. We've been a little bit quieter on Instagram and social, but like I said, Saturdays we're still selling beer, and our website amplifiedales.com has people you can pre-order and pay for everything, so it's a nice clean curbside pickup. And just appreciate everybody's support, and hope everyone's staying safe. Yeah,
definitely. Well, thanks so much for tuning in, and hopefully see you IRL one of these days.
Sounds good. Thanks
All
so
right.
much for having me.
Cheers.
All right, have a good one.
All right. Well, I love how many active commenters and stuff we're having today. So if anybody does have a very specific question or anything like that, feel free to type it on there, and I will try to catch it, as long as it's, PG-13 at worst. So anywho, it looks like we're going to keep things rolling with AleSmith Brewing. So let me go ahead and add them to the screen, and we can see what's going on over at AleSmith. I'm almost out. I'll have to ration. Hi, sorry, I just thought that was a great time to take a big swig.
How you
How's it
doing?
going? I'm good.
It's awesome.
How's it going over there with you?
We're well today. I'm in my backyard.
Frozen screen.
Uh-oh.
Nice. I've got a little bit of a delay. Stand very. Nope, AleSmith Brewing left. All right. I think I'll try to add him again, but as he left, my my computer with all my questions went down. So I guess we're just having technical difficulties all around. But in the meantime, I do have a piece of trivia ready for those while I'm trying to log back on. It's Pluto is smaller than Earth's moon. So in case you were wondering why it became a dwarf planet, not a planet. All right, let's see if we can get AleSmith back on here. AleSmith. Oh, I think he's asking to. Yeah, here we go. All right, we're gonna try again. Try again, AleSmith. I'm not gonna take a big swig this time right before he gets on. I'm a professional. All right. It says I'm waiting for you, Brandon. So whenever you're ready, because I only have so many trivia tidbits ready to go. And now I'm forgetting all of them. Venus is actually hotter than Mercury in terms of planetary temperatures. That's something else I got. All right. All right, we're going to wait for just another minute. So, AleSmith, I don't know if you're having trouble logging back on or not. But if you are, what we could do is grab Candace real quick. Tiger King tidbits. I don't think I have anything that people don't already know. Other than, oh, wait, let's see. Oh my gosh. All right, we're definitely having some technical difficulties here. I don't know why AleSmith is not able to join us. Jacob, I do not want to talk about Vince McMahon. I am so mad about that. I hate, we're not going to get too political on here. Okay, this is really weird. It's not letting me add AleSmith back on here. So if you want to try to request me again, I appreciate everybody. Okay, trying again. Perfect. I appreciate everybody holding on for just 1 second while we deal with this, but I think we should be rolling again in just a minute. I love that I didn't even get a chance to answer Ian's question before Jill popped on there with mitochondria. But yeah, Jacob Nikos, no, I really don't think that Vince McMahon is going to be a key factor in helping stimulate the American economy. And it's an insane sentence that I'm even uttering right now. So we are in the darkest timeline, no doubt about that. So I would say at this point, AleSmith, try to add yourself, and Candace, you can go ahead and request it as well. And I'll try to add you because I'm not exactly sure why it's giving me this type of error message. I just don't. So go ahead and try to request me again. Oh, wait, here we go. There we go. No, that's just me sending a message. I'm so sorry. This is like the 5th time we've done this, and I'm not sure why it's not letting me. So as far as which breweries need the most love, to be honest, I don't really know how to quantify that. So I would say whatever it has the beer that you like the best is still open. I mean, it really, you kind of can't go wrong with anybody who's open right now. So awesome. Candace, I'm going to add you on here and we will get moving. And okay. Thank you everybody for your patience. Hi.
Hello.
Hello, how's it going today on this gorgeous Wednesday?
It's been an interesting week trying to work and homeschool.
Oh, I'm not even trying to homeschool, so God bless you for even making a go of it.
Well, he's actually got class, and so we actually have things we're supposed to do. So
Yeah, it's
we'll
easy.
see.
When they're 3, I just don't. It's fine. It's fine. He doesn't have to do anything. So quick intro for those who might not know who you are.
I'm Candace Moon. I'm a craft beer attorney based here in San Diego. I've been working with craft breweries for almost 11 years now. And at some point, I've probably worked with almost everyone in San Diego.
Yeah.
And I'm repping Elspeth beer since Brandon couldn't get on.
Well,
I had it open before, but
we'll try to revisit Brandon when we're done with you. But, you know, people don't want to hear me monologue about planetary facts for too long. So I figured, but so walk me through a typical day for, you know, the craft beer attorney, and then and now a COVID-19 day. Like what changes have happened on your end?
Actually, interestingly enough, like for my typical day hasn't changed a whole lot other than the questions I'm getting asked. So I actually have been working from home for the last year anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So my work day isn't that different. I get up in the morning, I may or may not get dressed, I go to the computer, I make coffee,
Mm-hmm.
and then I start responding to emails, taking phone calls, and just dealing with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the stuff I'm dealing with has changed quite a bit.
Right.
So basically just trying to be a place of knowledge and support for my clients, as well as the industry in general. I've told the guild, like, if anyone has ABC questions about how the regulations have changed or loosened up, I'm happy to give anybody any assistance right now. Doing a lot of like employment law kind of questions with my clients, a lot of the kind of CARES Act explanations, the different loans that are available, what's going to work for people. And then also some of the kind of the exceptions and the things people don't realize are out there. So for example, I know a lot of people, there is an exception for this new emergency family paid leave for businesses under 50 employees, but it's not a 100% exception. There's actually some specifics to it. So just trying to get all the information I can out there. I put a lot of stuff, post a lot of articles on my Facebook page. Hopefully people are seeing those, but the information is changing almost daily.
Yeah.
And so it is so hard to keep up with what you can and can't do. And I mean, everyone's trying to help though. And so crazy. So San Diego was doing something specific for small businesses. First time I saw it was yesterday, and the deadline was yesterday. So
I saw that. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not the only one who like didn't see that before.
Yeah, it was like, you must apply by Tuesday night. And I'm like, oh, well, that won't make any difference for this.
Well, so that's why I said, I sent it out to everyone. I put it on the Facebook. I'm like, hopefully people saw it. But yeah. I think a lot of municipalities, I saw something that Los Angeles is doing specific to their area. So San Diego's trying to help. The state definitely is trying to help. I don't know if the feds are really trying to help, but you know.
Nope.
We won't go into that, but there's definitely a lot of things that people can apply for.
Yeah, and whether they are found or accepted or processed is definitely remains to be seen. So, so it looks like we do have a question. How long do you think the current ABC relief will be in effect?
I think as long as certainly as long as we're shut down, or not shut down, but
like shelter in place,
for sure. Hopefully a little bit longer after that. I mean, I think, you know, a lot of people have asked me if I think it'll change, like if it'll just stay. And the thing is, it can't necessarily just stay because there really are, I mean, the laws are written. The law has to be changed. So I think the laws will be changed. Yes, but that takes time. And that takes somebody to stand up and say, hey, we want to change the law to say this. So, I mean, a lot of what we've been doing, I mean, California breweries have always been able to deliver to customers. So that's not actually new. It's just something no one ever did because there was really no motivation.
Right.
And I think another thing that is really important to think about is the fact that you can, as a brewery in California, you can ship all over the state direct to consumer.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of breweries have started doing that. I mean, it's a pain in the ass, but it's, one more way to make those sales right now.
Well, and the margins might not have made sense initially when tap rooms were open, and that was going to be, obviously the biggest margin. But now it's sort of like anybody will take what they can get, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And it seems like a lot of the rules aren't necessarily that the rules or the laws have been changed, other than the fact that like they're being enforced a little bit more selectively.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
they basically said we're not going to enforce this right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of it here's the thing, they're never going to come out and say, when everything goes, well, back to whatever the new normal is, I doubt they're going to say, we're not enforcing it.
Mm-hmm.
I suspect they'll come back and say, okay, this is back in enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
And they won't say anything about the other. And you just kind of make that,
yeah,
understanding. It's like the cops don't tell you can go 60 in a 55 zone, but everybody kind of knows you can.
Right.
That I think might continue. I think the advertising thing is going to go back to normal. I think I tell you right now, the retailers are not going to get to do, cocktails to go.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I kind of enjoyed that, but
yeah,
I think for the manufacturers, there's not a whole lot that's that different.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. So we had another question, and I guess I'll ask you because you might know, but it looks like they said from a tap house standpoint, can I still allow customers to bring their empty growlers to fill, which I'm assuming means like versus having like requiring a new growler, which I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
they haven't changed anything on that. I think there's common sense that you want to be careful. And if someone brings you something, you don't want to touch it without gloves, and then you want to disinfect it, and you want to throw the gloves away. But the growler laws haven't changed at all. So I can take any growler, and then I will say this: if the growler has someone else's name on it, they need to cover up the name. But I don't think it has to be. I think you can be a little more relaxed on how that was.
Yes.
So if you put masking tape over it, that's probably fine.
Right.
I don't think you have to do the, super formal cover up. But basically, when that growler goes home and goes in your fridge, you want your significant other to know that it didn't come from, AleSmith. It came from Amplified or, whatever.
What have you. Yeah. And I think that was
that's the whole point of that.
And that was already a case by case, like some places allowed that, some places didn't. And so things like that. As far as this next question says, are samples still allowed at breweries? I don't think so at all. Because
the tap room's not open. I don't know how you're getting a sample.
Yeah, you're not going in there to try anything served to you open. I mean, anything that you're going to get is either it's to go only, sealed at the time. So no, I sincerely doubt they are allowed anywhere except maybe North Dakota or wherever they don't have shelter in place. So California, San Diego specifically, definitely not. But well, yeah, I mean, it seems like you're right in the thick of it, just in terms of the wackiness changing day by day. So, God, best of luck to you.
I mean, that's what I'm just trying to keep up with stuff. And actually, there are people who think this is a great time to do their licensing. So there's, still people looking to open new places. It's, it's kind of nice. Like I'm an attorney. We're worst case scenario people, but it's kind of nice to have, be working with people who are still excited. And they're like, okay, I've got an opportunity now. And I'm like, okay.
I mean, I don't want to say wait 3 months when there might be some houses for sale, but.
Because you know what? They might be right. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. I'm like, I may be pessimistic, but who knows? No one knows. This is like unprecedented.
Yeah.
Who knows? And you know what? They're going to open knowing what we've been through. I think one of the reasons, especially across the country, brewers are getting hit so hard is for the last, 4 or 5 years, we've been telling people, ooh, tap room only. Tap room is where you make the money. There's too much product on the shelves, too much competition. And those are the people who are probably hurting the most right now. If you don't have packaged beer, you're kind of stuck. I mean, like you can, get a couple of growler machines or, mobile canning and, but if you're not packaging.
If you're not on the grocery store, if you're not next to the toilet paper that I'm definitely buying, then you've lost about a 50% chance of me getting over there. So.
But I mean, I've been ordering a ton of beer. I'm not doing as much pickup just because I don't know. I have a small child and I don't want to leave the house. I'm paranoid, but I've been ordering beer online, anything that's getting delivered. I mean, being supportive as I can. But so
Nice.
hopefully,
Very
keep it
cool.
going.
Well, where can people find you if they have questions or anything like that? Social media, your website?
I have a Facebook page, Craft Beer Attorney. My Instagram is Craft Beer Attorney. And I actually have a Twitter feed, which is it's like Craft Beer Attorney with minimal vowels, because when I signed up, I had a letter limit. So,
right.
And actually, if you just kind of Google Craft Beer Attorney, I tend to come up.
Nice. Get that SEO in there. Sweet. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, and hopefully we see you soon. And cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.
All right. Take care. All right. I'm going to try one more time to see if I can add AleSmith to get them back on there. For some reason, it is just not letting me add anybody else right now. So we might need to revisit AleSmith unless he asks to join, and I can accept that. So we'll wait just a second and see. Brandon, if you're still with us, please feel free to request to be in the video. Can you request to be in the video if you press the little the icon at the bottom of your screen where it's the two faces? You should be able to request it. I don't know why it's not letting me add you right now. It's very weird, but I apologize. But anyway, I'm like, any other planetary facts that I have right now? I don't think so. I'm out of beer and I'm out of planetary facts. So if AleSmith is not able to grab that and jump on, we might not. Oh, it's not letting you. Yeah. It looks like if you leave and then you come back, you might be able to. I don't want to end this, even though we're going to end it pretty soon. But I'll wait just a couple more seconds and see. Oh, I was going to do. Okay, everybody's saying exit and come back, but yeah, I think he's got it. So we'll try. We'll try. Anyway, I appreciate everybody hanging on for this last guest. Let's just see. Here, let's just see. All right, I got a random fact. How long have sharks been around for? 420 million years, depending on who you ask. Any word on latitude 33? I heard they were out of business totally. I think that is the case. Gosh, there's a name I haven't heard in a while. Okay. Well, I don't know if AleSmith is going to be able to join us today, so I think we might have to catch them next week. We've got 32 North lined up for next week as well, so we will be sharing some more guests and things like that for next week. It's every week, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so be sure to tune in then. And it looks. Oh wait! Yay! Okay, here we go. We can get Brandon in here. Hooray! Go live with AleSmith. Yes! Just in the nick of time. Oh, we did it! Yay!
Is it working?
It's working! I'm so happy. I was not feeling optimistic, but you nailed it.
I'm circling my house looking for my best signal.
Oh, there you go. God, what is it, 1994? I love it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, well, let's backtrack. Let's do an intro, who you are and who you're with, and what you do.
Sure, yeah. Braden Richards from AleSmith Brewing Company. I'm the president. I've been at the brewery now for just about, gosh, feels like forever, but about 5 months.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It does seem like forever, but hey, that's a great spot to jump on board with at any time, pandemic or no, for sure. So how are things going over there? How are things going over there at AleSmith right now?
I think we're feeling it just like everybody else. We're at a great place because we do have a grocery store presence throughout California, so that's nice. But we obviously have one of the largest tap rooms in California. We only have one location, so we're closed just like everybody else. And we're open Tuesday through Sunday currently, doing curbside, online. We're not doing delivery just yet, but we are feeling it just like everyone. and ramped operations down a little bit, but still brewing every day and out on the street selling a little bit.
I love the idea of like literally out on the street with like a little cart full of beer, like the ice cream man. Like that would be amazing. So how much more would you say it's the same, less, or more that Peter is making cheese at Cheesesmith right now?
Ooh. It actually was more 2 weeks ago when I think the dairy aisles were empty, but he's making cheese today. So we'll have Midwest style cheese curds tomorrow available in the tap room, or you can order them online. But yeah, it's a little bit of it's his place to go and get away from the virus and be able to go make some cheese and get his brain somewhere else. It's awesome.
I hear that, man. Everybody needs an outlet. Right now, mine is just drinking beer, so I really should get a better hobby like Peter has found. I'm very jealous. So, so right now, how can the community support you? I mean, it sounds like people can get, we can order online. You're not doing delivery quite yet, but you're in a lot of grocery store shelves. I mean, are you doing, I know you guys were doing really reduced price kegs for a little bit, and I was kicking myself for not having a kegerator anymore. But what are some ways that the community can support AleSmith right now?
Sure. Yeah. Obviously, going into your local grocery store is always a great start, and supporting your local small businesses and liquor stores. There's an opportunity to come by or go on the website, order growlers, crowlers, kegs. We just launched a brand new merchandise website today, so that's great as well. And then some of the things we're doing for the community is we started a virtual food drive last week. So we know it's not responsible to ask people to come in and drop off food. You can come drop off food at our brewery if you'd like, but we kicked off a virtual food drive. And for our employees, we just partnered with Tank Farm Clothing Company on a program to support your local brewery to buy a T-shirt, and the proceeds from that shirt will go to our staff. And we have some cool things in the work for next week for families and employees impacted by this coronavirus, so we can help them. So stay tuned for some more cool stuff next week to just support the community overall, the beer community. I'm very excited about that.
For sure. Well, so when you say people stay tuned, what are some of the social media places that we can find out what everything's happening at AleSmith?
On Instagram here, AleSmith, AleSmith, on Twitter, Facebook, and those are the main channels. But really, we spend a lot of our time and effort on Instagram.
Okay. So be sure to, tune in on Instagram for the latest and greatest of everything AleSmith.
Yep.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Awesome. Well, I think, we're running a little bit over, and I don't want to have this cut out on you because that happened one other time, but we will be sure to tune in. I really appreciate you bearing with us while we dealt with the technical difficulties, and hopefully we'll be back in AleSmith up on that mezzanine eating cheese and drinking beer in no time.
Yeah. Thanks for having us today. Yeah. Sorry about the
inconvenience
no of getting on.
Cheers until next time.
Okay. Take care.
Bye. All right, we're going to wrap up for the week, but like I was saying, every Wednesday at 3 p.m., come to SD Brewers here on Instagram to check out the latest and greatest of everything SD Beer has to offer, how you can support the community, who's open, who's doing deliveries to go, everything like that. I know that y'all are getting those stimulus checks this week, so please commit to buying, a six-pack or anything like that. To help the community keep going. So again, I am Beth Demon. You can find me at The Delighted Bite here on Instagram. Twitter is The Delighted Bite, or just Delighted Bite, because like Candace was saying, we've got a bit of a character limitation there. So thank you so much again. Hopefully we'll see everybody in the future. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay thirsty, and enjoy the sunshine. All right, take care, everybody. See you next week.